I heard you and Tiberius finished the final preparations, and now we only have one problem left. I promised to solve this problem, didn't I? And I think I solved it. Well, kind of. I mean, I found a solution in the Aelinet. We need Zero. You never heard of Zero? Really? He's a very famous person on the Aelinet. Don't you follow The Shelter? It's a conspiracy theory site, and I love it. Most of the theories on there sound completely crazy, but that's what makes them interesting. You see, it just dawned on me today that Zero and Hacker are one and the same person. And the Hacker is a much more interesting guy. The Hacker is better known in the so-called Deep Aelinet. Mortals rarely set foot in there, and the activities that take place there are not always legal. He speaks openly against the Council, says they don't give a damn about anything except power and personal goals. And when the Gravedigger was captured, the Hacker immediately blogged that it was Laertes and told his readers to mark his words. The Council would not help him. And he was right. That's the thing. He's not called the Hacker for nothing. He is a technical genius, so he has access to a wide variety of information. They say he was once a colleague of Flavius's, but putting two geniuses in one lab is never a good idea. This may well be true, because the Hacker occasionally attacks the servers of the research center just for fun. I sense some kind of personal interest. Well, he has bypassed Flavius' security system research center a few times already. I think he can access Laertes' too. And you see, he himself wrote that freeing Laertes would be something every true defender of Aelion would want. He'll be on our side. I am sure of it. This is where it gets complicated. I tried to contact him, but Zero refuses to meet in person. However, I did learn that the Hacker placed an order for some scientific equipment that needed to be stolen from Flavius and delivered to Port Usuni. The order was recently picked up. My Templar friends helped me track down the ship. Whoever it was, they went through a bit of a fiasco. The ship fell in the port. Find the courier in Port Usuni. Save the poor fellow and tell him to give you Zero's order as a thank you. After that, you'll have to rely on luck and your powers of persuasion.
Another one of my ingenious creations. A little something
Try to
help you
find
out.
the courier quickly.
From Flavius with love,
Look for a
so to
ship.
speak.
He came here on something.
Another one of my ingenious creations. A little something to help.
Here, but my drones have already scanned the place, and I know the cargo's with you. It might have been rude, but security issues take priority over manners right now. Deliver the cargo, and we'll call it a done deal. I should warn you, it's pointless to try and fool me. There are many mechanical guys here. Can't find anything. but this should be enough. You can hand over the cargo now.
Thank you for your help. None of these things will be used to bring harm to Aelion or its inhabitants. Quite the opposite, actually. Trust me, few people care about this planet's safety as much as I do. If it matters to you, that is. Oh, does it require my personal presence, or do you need the address of my site? I like important conversations, but what's going on there? Wait, Thanatos take you? Someone tailed you here.
These guys have been looking for me for a long time, and now they followed the heat signature of your ship. Trust me, you better help me get rid of these guys. I'm not immortal, so if I die, it'll put an end to our conversation. Well, I could be wrong, but I'll risk it. I believe I can trust you. Come inside if you still want to talk.
Welcome to the shelter. It's not what you'd call cozy, but it has become my home. I'm Zero. You may also know me as Hacker or Shadow. I can say the same. What do you want to talk about? You're run-of-the-mill bandits. They were planning to raid one of the smaller towns. I hacked their equipment and called the Templars on them. So, I'm on their hit list. There's a bounty on my head. How much was it? 2 million credits. But I think the price will go up after today's incident. Who hasn't heard about the Gravedigger lately? Although, about Laertes would be more accurate. I'd call this another of the Council's blunders, but I'm pretty sure everything was carefully planned. Friends would try and help him before throwing him into a cell until the end of time. Don't you think? If you really think about it, many have their motives. It's not every day you get the chance to build a prison for an immortal. And Flavius is obsessed with science, you know. Personal animosity, perhaps. Laertes and Iona fought before, over the fact that the Archon was in no hurry to help mortals. Do you really think the Allmother is so simple? Then you obviously haven't read any of my articles in the Aelinet about Herita's touching concern for the invasion creatures. I thought about helping Laertes escape, but without someone on the inside, I have no way of doing that. Then I'll have to say they should be careful. Oh, and one more thing. I'm very, very interested. With a goddess on our side, and with Flavius's personal assistant, yes, it's a viable plan. I've been keeping an eye on Flavius's new project, this famous prison. It's finished, and Laertes has been in there for a while. I was wondering why the Reapers of Death nearby were so agitated, but now I understand. We're not the only ones who want to free Laertes. There'll be an attack, many attacks, and now is the perfect time to set our plan in motion. We'll use the Reapers' attack as a cover and sneak inside. I intercepted the Templars' communications. One of their troops went missing on Donholk. They went there to deal with a few stray rats, but they never returned. The trap snapped shut. Sacrifices are an important part of the preparations for the Reapers of... You'll have to follow their tracks. I'm sure Donholk Glacier serves as a base for the attack on the prison. We'll learn the rest there.
reports. Just a while ago, the place was empty.
Another
The
one of
Reapers are
my
gathering
ingenious
forces for an attack. Is crawling with rats, so that's why the Templar scouts never came back. They didn't expect such resistance. These three have some kind of insignia. They're high-ranking rats, though saying that feels weird. The bird's brain is the size of a nut. No one would trust them with plans for a future attack. We need someone else. One of the Reapers. run into a higher Reaper soon. Someone like that should have the plans for the future attack. Perhaps the captive heard something. On your tablet. These caves have a complex topology. They're like rat burrows. There's not enough time. Don't panic, but the Reaper told the truth. The attack on the prison is already underway. I hacked into the Templar databases. You are now taking part in Operation Prison, under a false name, of course. Go with the squad. One of the goddesses, Zintara, will handle the defense of the complex while I probe the security of the prison block. Have the defenders. As soon as I'm ready, I'll let you know. Don't worry, I'll be quick. Let's go.
That's impossible. So their god keeps trying to conquer our planet?
What else could these giant cubes be? It's not the first time Aelion has been in danger. Storm clouds gather over our heads. Our generation has suffered a great deal.
Stop it! I'm beginning to lose hope.
We are lucky it's just the mechanoids this time. There were times when Aelion had to fight several invasions at once.
It's a prototype. We are going to see if there are any side effects.
listen carefully. I only handled the lock. There was no way to disable security inside. Titans are all over the place, and they marked you as intruder.
finally here! I was so worried. I'm afraid the imprisonment and the escape have taken their toll. He's not himself. He rants and raves. He talks to someone and looks past me, then says thank you and tries to leave. He's afraid to lose control, afraid to hurt any of us. My poor Laertes. He started to change a while ago. It was horrible. I dread to think what would have happened if my elixir hadn't worked. Oh, right, the elixir. I've been wanting to talk to you about it. When Laertes started raving, he spoke a lot. He argued with Thanatos, telling him that they won't break his spirit. That's when I made an order from my alchemist to find something that would ease all of his horrible suffering. They brought me this elixir. A small, dusty vial from the oldest recesses of the temple. This elixir was supposed to help a man who went through the ritual of transfer, but he died before taking it, and they forgot about the elixir. I know very little about it. The ritual has something to do with giving a great god the ability to control people. But that's all I really know.
Please.
I think Asterius can probably tell you more. You must have met the old man already. There's an archive at the Divine Observatory, the place that holds all knowledge of Aelion. And Asterius watches over it. Asterius is one of the gods of the council, the chronicler god. Everyone knows the old man is working on his life's project, the Chronicles of Aelion. There might be. Asterius pays great attention to detail. If he knows anything about the ritual, he wrote it all down. The thing is, the chronicles haven't been published yet. Speak with the old man. He's kind. He will probably help you. Just hurry. Look, the vial with the elixir is so tiny.
Please. I need help.
Greetings, friend. I don't recall your name. Honestly, I can't believe we haven't had the honor of conversing yet. As you must know, I am Asterius, one of Aelion's oldest immortals. I have an inquisitive mind and have always had a thirst for knowledge, which is why I know more than most do about our world. Your thirst for knowledge is admirable. My magnum opus, the Chronicles of Aelion, is going well. Very well. In a couple of months, I will present the first volume to the public. You can enjoy each volume as it's released on my Aelinet portal. Patience is a virtue. Scattered bits of knowledge don't give you the complete picture you need to understand this historical phenomenon. So many immortals have been interested in that ritual recently. Oh, I get it. Tell Iana that I won't tell what I have found until it is time. The plan to send you was good, but alas, She saw right through it. Tell her just like that. But that's amazing. What a great plan.
Asterius thought Ayanna had sent you and refused? Well, damn. That's fine. Come find me in the Divine Observatory. Ayanna asked about the ritual of transfer. It's strange, and a little suspicious, don't you think? True. We need to learn more about the ritual. You know what I think? Proteus will help us. What? He's a scientist and an elder god who's aiming at becoming a great god. He probably studied it extensively. Plus, Proteus didn't want to fight you as much as he wanted to talk to you. If it wasn't for that thing with thighs, you would have parted on peaceful terms. And we don't need to. I've talked to this Templar I know, and he says our god of seas was spotted in Thorneus' camp. Take this mission before they send someone else to help the scientists. And you will talk to Proteus. Or try to, at least. Thorneus' camp is a research station. Look around. Perhaps you can help someone while I'm tracking down Proteus using the Templar's frequency. Stay close to them or you'll freeze your limbs off.
I thought I was going to die here. It looks like I owe you my life. If I only knew, we couldn't make sense of what was happening. Suddenly the heaters turned on to the max, every single one of them. While we were trying to switch them off, the ice started to thaw. Those creatures broke free and started killing everyone they saw. I managed to hide.
We are studying sea creatures. They arrived at Aelion over 100 years ago and have been evolving in this new environment. Our research will help us fight them and maybe even gain some knowledge of our world. Our expedition is hardly the first. The Gothroar once performed a great feat here. He froze an entire army of sea creatures in order to stop their invasion. The largest discovered troop is located in this area. Our main find is a giant kraken. first we thought our equipment had malfunctioned, but no. It really is that big. We had to set up camp right next to it. There's no way we could move that monstrous thing. We're in the main base now. There's also a camp right next to the Kraken, and a small station on the edge of the glacier, as well as a few checkpoints where we take readings. We get these things out of the ice and start unfreezing them. Of course we don't want to revive them. Our goal is to soften the tissue enough to take samples and then freeze them again.
Well, anything can happen. We keep containers of liquid nitrogen at hand just in case. We plan to study the Kraken today, so we all sent our containers there. And of course, now that we're defenseless, trouble comes knocking. Well, this is strange. We lost contact with the camp near the Kraken.
There are several checkpoints around the base where we were taking readings. There should be a few people out there, but they have been in contact, trying to find out what's wrong. Checkpoints. Enable them so we can figure out what happened. Judging by the footage, our team escaped. They took out the kelps and headed for the camp in the valley. Wait, Dr. Thorneus wasn't among them, so he escaped? Luckily, our team was on a break. When the heater turned on, the heat attracted Ursans, and they killed all the kelps. We should also check the camp at the edge of the glacier.
A camp at the edge of the glacier. Great! That's where you need to go. The Templar scanners detected Proteus there.
I didn't think we'd meet again so soon. And we can't now either. I don't have time. My subjects need me. They are awakening. Awakening from 1,000-year slumber. This is the field of an ancient battle. Years ago, a powerful cryomancer encased these lands in ice. And with them, thousands of oceanids coming out of the sea. Thousands of Tol Monter's soldiers, his army from the Dark Ages. I don't know. Flavius's scientific curiosity knows no bounds, but this is reckless even by his standards. Something did not go as planned. The heaters are operating at full capacity, and the soldiers of the great Oded God are waking up from their icy slumber. I'm here to help both sides, to take the awakened Oceanids under control, protect the scientists, and keep the Templars from destroying these magnificent creatures. But it's not working. They were frozen instantly during the battle. Tol Monter's commands sharp and clear in their heads, their eyes hazed over by rage and hatred for the unknown planet. I have to keep trying over and over. When this is finished, they will blame me for it. And no one will know that I came here to help. Thank you for believing me. I will welcome any help. Afterwards, we can talk. We need to check the surveillance footage from the cameras. Someone deliberately reprogrammed the heaters. Just as I thought. It was a diversion. I swear I had nothing to do with it. Thank you. I'm glad this excellent specimen is intact. I promise I won't use its power against Aelion. I'll tell Herida about Thorneus. I'll provide the data from the station to prove that Thorneus wanted to set me up. He escaped on a freighter, but that won't help him. The road to Aelinar is closed to him. He is an outlaw. He will run and hide, but one day I'll find him. But enough of that. You wanted to ask me something. I'm listening. Was an unexpected question. It's an ancient ritual. I heard about it from Asterius. Only the great gods practiced it. But fortunately, Ailey left us extensive treatises on the subject. I researched it and learned a little. The ritual is essentially about one great god subjugating another god or an immortal by splitting their ether body and placing a particle into the one they wish to enslave. Ailey himself never employed this procedure, but Thanatos split his body several times. The ritual does not simply render someone a puppet to the great god. It creates a replica of them, an avatar. An avatar of a great god can travel to a new planet and lead forces in battle while the great god itself is 100 worlds away. It's possible. I'll do it. You wish to help, Laertes? Commendable. Then there's another thing. The Reapers would need special equipment for the ritual of transfer. Only Thanatos himself could extract the ether body from Laertes using his willpower alone. His minions are incapable of this. They should have brought the equipment to Aelion. Find it.
It's been a while since, speaking of which, we need to talk. Find me on Cyban.
From the bottom of my heart, thank you for the peace in the lands of Glyceria. You'll make a wonderful god someday.